Hello and welcome to Autocar Professional. What a great time to be in the automotive industry. And today I'm delighted to be sitting with Mr. Jaideep Wadhwa of Sterling Tools. It's such an exciting time of disruption, electrification, so many clean tech platforms coming up, new energy vehicles becoming the order of the day. Let's start with that. How do you see this? How do you gauge this entire disruption in the market right now? How do you prepare for the future? And what are the key trends?
I agree with you. Very, very exciting times. I don't necessarily call it disruptive. It's just a part of the evolution of things as we go along, but very exciting. We really do believe at Sterling, we believe in electrification. We believe it's a trend that's definitely here to stay. We see penetration of electric vehicles increasing over time, and we are committed to it. So we are investing in this, and we are really committed to this market. There are obviously challenges. Charging infrastructure, as an example, developing the capabilities in India, manufacturing capabilities in India to keep up. Those are all there, but that's always new. In any new industry, there are challenges, but overall, we are very bullish about electrification. We really believe in it. We believe it's good for the environment, and we can't wait for for greater for the pace of electrification to increase.
Right. Except China, some other markets like Europe and US they have seen certain blip in the demand for EV growth, because this is the phase where the early adopter phase sort of gets over, and the new, the first time serious users come in and they see the kind of challenges with EVs. Even charging infrastructure, some of the international markets is not as mature, and we're already talking about it in India. So how do you see that trickle down to India? Is there a demand slowdown in that sense, or obviously you've mentioned that it will happen, but the pace of growth is what I'm coming at. How do you see that?
So
in the future?
I mean, definitely there will be speed breakers, there will be blips, as you call them, there will be course corrections, but I think the trend overall will be positive. So yes, there have been issues in Europe and other places on adoption, but like I said, we'll continue to see electrification take root and move forward. I'll give you one example. I mean, let's talk about two-wheelers, where we've seen good penetration in India in recent times. People who drive an electric two-wheeler genuinely believe the performance is better. They enjoy the experience of driving an electric two-wheeler. So that's what's driving the growth now. It's beyond the early adoption phase. It's beyond the hype around.
Even for three-wheelers, for that matter.
Exactly. So, and I think that puts a lot of onus onto the industry, because we have to therefore develop products that are genuinely attractive for the end consumer. And when we can convince the end consumer that this is a great product, forget the subsidy, forget other stuff, this is a genuinely great product, it's a product that you want to drive.
That's when the switch will happen.
That's when you see the switch happening, you see the pace of change accelerating.
Okay. At Sterling, how do you prepare for the future where so many different technologies are sort of blending in, and how do you sort of, in terms of tech R&D, in terms of new technologies coming in, how do you sort of make sure that you have tapped into different markets?
So, Sterling started off as a fastener company. That's still our core business. So this has been a big shift for us. I mean, we continue to build on our fastener business, but starting 2018, started to build competencies in electronics, and we're going to continue to enhance on that. So if you look at our capital allocation, you look at what we are trying to expand into in the future, it's all around electrification. What we are focusing on, and I used this word a little earlier, is about competencies. EVs are about power electronics. It's about changing voltage and current. And so what we are focusing on is building power electronics competencies, which means that we can do multiple products. It's not just one product that we do. And today, what we are known for are our motor control units in the electronics field. But by building a power electronics competence, what we can do is bring in other products like onboard chargers, DC-DC converters, etc., etc. And that's what we want to do, to be able to bring a whole host of products for our customers, which is the OEs, all building on the same technologies. As of today, we have more than 70 engineers working for us, and we are continuing to expand that team. It's the constant investment in building that competence, building that capability, so that we are able to adapt ourselves to the needs of our customers.
Right. What is the sense that you get on hybrids? Because India is going to see a mix of technologies. So how do you look at that technology and like the potential in the industry?
So I mean, I like to say that, first of all, I believe that all of the technologies will exist. So, it's not that internal combustion engines are going to go away.
Correct, yeah. Or they're going to become cleaner.
They're going to become cleaner, but they're going to be there, and they're going to probably be, in some categories, the majority. But if you specific, and so on. And so there'll be a role for hydrogen, there'll be a role for pure electric, there'll be a role for hybrid. But if you talk about hybrid, I personally believe that hybrids have a great role in India. I mean, I'm very excited about this. We've seen great success with good products. Again, when companies have launched a good product, as we've seen from the Toyota and Suzuki stables in recent times, I mean, the demand's been fantastic.
Without the GST benefit.
Exactly, without anything else.
The penetration for EVs and hybrids is almost equal.
Yeah, so again, right product, the consumer wants it. But so why would hybrid? Why do I think Why do I think so highly of the hybrid fit for India? It's because we will always struggle with our population and our urban planning and the challenges around urban planning. We will always struggle to build really good, EV charging infrastructure, which at the end of the day is a real estate play. So therefore, EVs are a great option, and I hope that the government will support that. And if they support it, like they've supported, two-wheelers in the past, and I think that we'll see a lot of good products coming out, a lot of companies investing in this. And I think consumers will be very happy with the choices they'll get.
Yeah, and if you could share some projections by 2030, what is the kind of penetration? I know it's like a crystal ball gazing and no right answers, but then how do you see it?
It's all across, right? So if I was to take a kind of a mean of what people talk about, I think you'll see 20 to 30% penetration in two-wheelers. The penetration in last mile delivery could be more than 50%.
For sure, yeah.
That's something which is going to be very high. Cars, I'm not as bullish because, like I said, we talked about the challenges around charging infrastructure. So that could be maybe around 10 to 15%. Hybrids could be the unknown. We don't know how that will work out.
It's really funny. Whenever we talk about projections, we only talk about EV projections. No one talks about, even like from the government side, we don't hear hybrid penetration as much. So I think we need more studies to be done, more projections on that side.
Yeah, no, it could be, and hybrids could, obviously we all focus on passenger vehicle hybrids, but hybrids also you'll also see hybrids in last mile delivery.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of potential there. As far as the heavy bus and truck goes, we'll see a lot of that depends on government, because government buys a lot of the buses and trucks, not trucks per se, but buses, bulk orders. So it depends on their policies. And then trucks, again, big challenges around charging infrastructure. So we've got to look at some innovative solutions, but they are there. It's not that those solutions and case studies aren't there in other markets.
Yeah. And for your business, how do you see penetration at Sterling going forward? And what kind of revenues do you see coming from electric? I know it's again like a tough one, but then how do you, the sense that you're getting?
Okay. So, as we've talked about the company's origins as being a fastener company.
Yeah.
As of today, we have three core verticals. We have the fasteners, we have power electronics, which is where the motor control unit business sits, and we've also started a components business, which is basically the next level of localization. We definitely expect to see our two new businesses become as big as, if not bigger than, our fastener business. I'm not able to give projections. Besides other things, we're also a listed company, so I have to be careful about what we say in the public without with the making forward-looking forecasts, etc.
Yeah, but then this entire narrative of localizing in India, building in India for the world, how do you see the potential of that going forward? And basically, this entire China plus one strategy that a lot of companies and countries are looking at. So how do you see that developing in the future?
So I mean, that may have there may be an opportunity in other industries. I won't be as bullish about that in the EV industry. At the end of the day, China is the world leader in EV without doubt. So therefore, to be a plus one or an alternative to China, I think requires a lot of work from us, and I think that's years and years away. As far as exports go, it's exporting to Asia is going to be very difficult because China is very strong in all of Asia with their EV portfolio.
As so there are other markets as opportunities?
The markets have opportunities. I mean, obviously, there's electrification happening in Southeast Asia and so on. But I don't see that as something that we can really tap on. But, there is so much potential in India that I'm not as, I mean, we do see some opportunities for exports, but those are it's not a core focus for us. Our focus is the Indian market. We want to be seen as a solution provider. We want to do a complete range of power electronics, not only motor control units, but chargers, DC-DCs, vehicle control units, motors, integrated units. So our focus is getting that part of the puzzle right. If you get some export opportunities, we'll love to be able to do them, but we're not going to lose sleep over that.
Right now, the focus is...
the focus is India. There's enough potential here.
Yeah. So, and also if you could define like a vision for Sterling Tools, and how do you see the company expand going forward, in what areas, what is the kind of vision that you see like in the next 5 years or so?
The leading EV component supplier.
Yeah.
Very simple.
Yeah. Number one.
Number one. Yeah. That's what we want to be. That's our dream. It's not. We've got great companies in India that are working in the EV space, and it's definitely not going to be easy to be a leader in this field. But you've got to aim high and strive to be the best you can.
Sure. Just leave us with some of the challenges at this point, and how do you, what are some of the things that could ease, because I was talking to a lot of component makers here, and like the sense I got was that like there are certain roadblocks in terms of ease of doing business, or like in terms of, like you said, challenges of electrification. So these are the things that are not helping EV journey go on like a full throttle at this point. So what do you think are some of the challenges that could be solved? So some suggestions that you would want to share and leave us with.
Okay, so I think the challenges. First of all, the challenges are big around the fact that we've got a lack of charging infrastructure. That's something that needs to develop. We've got to look at how that works, because it is a real estate play. You got to you can't have a charging station in the middle of a road. You need a charging station where someone can charge the vehicle and in the meanwhile do something else.
Then it's also a problem of like a tech problem, right?
Because the tech I think there are enough solutions being developed around the tech, but no one wants to sit in a car even for half an hour and do nothing. Okay, so
solutions around that.
So solutions. So you got to find, maybe you got to find a way that you got to have charging infrastructure where people are going to go in anyway for some other work. So around, restaurants and so on and so forth. But
which is why malls work really well, offices.
Exactly. So I think that's one part of the puzzle, getting the charging infrastructure right. In India, our electronics industry is still underdeveloped. We still need a lot more support from the government to get there. We don't really develop. We don't make too many active or passive components, for that matter.
Which will help you also localize a lot more.
Exactly. So, obviously, this is a big part of the government's focusing on it, and we talk about many chip plants coming up or foundries coming up in the future. Obviously, we have to see where they focus. Do they focus on consumer electronics, on mobile phones, or on EVs? So we'll see all of that.
Everything is growing.
Everything is growing. So obviously that infrastructure needs to grow. I think there are some areas that maybe the government could help us with, just saying get the market going, get get the right product. So so at times, sometimes we focus too much on localization. Localization is key. We have to be self-reliant, but we need to have some flexibility around saying, get into the market, learn what this industry is about. So
it's a mix of, it has to be a balance of both.
Exactly. So it's today, because and to be honest, we got there because we were pushed. But we in the two-wheeler and three-wheeler industries, we've got there. We know people. I mean, there's enough homegrown technology. There's
because
enough,
maybe these were India-specific solutions, the kind of two-wheeler market we have,
and it's a very large market.
Yeah.
But when we get into say heavy commercial vehicles,
there we need to find India-specific solutions.
We need to find India-specific solutions and volume and solutions that are tailored to that volume, because the volume on a heavy commercial vehicle is very different from a volume on a two-wheeler.
Yeah.
So we can't use the same matrices and say,
extrapolate it to that scenario.
And this will work. So there is stuff that needs to be done, but at the end of the day, companies like us in industry, the auto industry as a whole, we have to take a lot of the responsibility. We have to drive
innovation.
We have to drive the development of capabilities and competencies within the country.
Yeah.
And keep coming back to this theme, but if our customers, that's the OEs, make the right product, the consumers will come, and that will drive demand. So
for you,
all of us,
chain,
so there's a chain. All of us have to play our part, and if we play our part and the government supports us, I think we'll do very well.
But at your level, is it too much of a bet right now to bet on what technology, what industry? Because that's also, again, no one knows what technology is going to stick for the Indian solution.
Well, we are betting on, we are trying to build power electronics competence.
Yeah.
So, within that, things can change a little bit. I mean, today you have certain functions which are being put into one solution. In the future, there may be a different set of solutions that come into one, or a different set of functions that come into one solution.
So you have to be nimble enough.
You have to be nimble enough to manage that, but it doesn't change the overall. I mean, as long as you have the competence to do power electronics, you should be able to navigate your way through that.
Right.
That's and that's what we guys need to work on.
Makes sense. Very exciting times ahead.
Very exciting times, and great to be here at this new facility.
Yes.
We haven't been here before, and this is good. I mean, we're very happy to have.
This is the beginning of something good.
This is a good facility to have for our trade shows.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Very nice
meeting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Look forward to that. Thank you.
Thanks.